Are you calling here? No.
I'm calling Bianca.
Maybe this one works.
Le micro de Zizi, ça marche pas?
Ah oui, oui.
Ok, si.
C'est comme ça. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May I kindly ask you to take your seats, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning once more. Let me warmly welcome you actually to this H2020 RTR conference. My name is Zisis Samaras. I'm professor at the University of Thessaloniki in Greece and vice chair of ERTAC on academic topics. I would like to thank you very much for participating. We are amazed by the large number of participants we are having for this conference. More than 550 participants have registered, and we hope that the majority of them will be showing up in the different sessions of the conference. I am greeting you and welcoming you on behalf of ERTRAC, of EGVIA 420, and for SICAM, which is the latest player in this area that joined the overall environment, very nice environment that we are in. At the same time, I would like to very much thank upfront the Commission for their strong participation and support, and in particular the three units, the three DGs from the Commission, services from the Commission that include DG RTD, DG MOVE, as well as CINEA. Despite the sanitary situation, I think it's very nice that we are meeting together. However, I would like to kindly ask you and to encourage you upfront to keep as much as possible the sanitary measures. In particular, please wear your masks when you're sitting or you're not talking or eating. We have a small novelty in this conference. As you will notice outside, there is a small exhibition, and in this exhibition, in the main room, actually outside of Einstein here, we have a booth from the organizers. The European Commission will also provide information on Horizon Europe. And also, we have four very important, I would say, CSAs. Lip Planet, Arcade, Gecko, and Be Open will be presenting, showing, and sharing with us their activities and results. Finally, something that I shouldn't forget to mention is that TRA 2022 is also outside in a booth to present and give additional information if needed. As previously organized, we will have several sessions which will be parallel, 20 in total, and they are so organized in order to cover all the H2020 program relevant to our conference, of course. Lucy underlined the fact that I shouldn't forget to kindly ask you to to tweet using the conference hashtag. This is everywhere, you can find it everywhere. And to remind to everyone that all presentations, including also recordings of the sessions, will be made available right after the conference. In particular, the recordings, if I recall well from the previous RTR, they will remain there for about 2 years on YouTube. So, since we have a very long day ahead with these short, very introductory words, I would like to go ahead and to invite some talks that they will open our day with insights in the latest policy developments. For this case, I would like first to introduce at the stage Dr. Stefan Neugebauer, our chairman, but also director of Global Research Cooperation at BMW. So, Stefan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Zisis. First of all, I think we all have to enjoy this moment. We are back in Brussels after 2 years. It's really a pleasure for all of us to be back and to have this research community together here in Brussels. So, welcome again in Brussels. You know, normally this conference was done at the end of the year. And this year we decided at the board level to postpone it to spring, because we had the hope that we were able to have a physical meeting. And this was the right decision. And we are absolutely impressed by the registrations. We have more than 500 registrations for these 2 days. So this is a clear signal that people, they want to come back to normal life, and hopefully we will be able to do this also in the future. So thank you very much to the organizing team, to you, CISIS, to our team in the office to organize this conference, and thank you, CISIS, for chairing this conference from a scientific point of view. You know, this conference was organized in the past by AirTruck and by the Green Vehicle Initiative. And here we have to deliver 2 things. We have to deliver an advice to the European Commission, an advice in terms of technology and advice in terms of research program. We are doing this in slightly different ways. The public-private partnerships, they are clearly focused on the political strategy with a clear political goal, and to translate this political issues and strategy into the research program. And then we have the technology platform, AirTruck, which has a more holistic point of view on all technologies, on all relevant technologies, sometimes going beyond the actual political strategy. And the second issue is we need to provide a good dissemination of research results from projects which are funded by the European Commission. And this is what we try to do here in this conference, to give a forum for dissemination for the results. And there's no doubt that for the transition of road transport, the innovation, the technical development is of utmost importance. Why? When we look at our vision, and we all share the same vision, and we have the vision also in the strategic research and innovation agenda. You can have it outside at the booth for the 2.0 partnership. And the same is available for the CCAM partnership and other partnerships. We have the same vision. But when we look at the today's level of technology, then the today's knowledge and level of technology is not good enough to achieve our goals in parallel. It's not good enough to achieve carbon neutrality in parallel with saving of resources and saving of energies, of seamless mobility for people and goods, for affordability of mobility in parallel with global competitiveness of European society and economic society. So it is absolutely clear that we in Europe, we need technical innovation. And in order to do so, we need the stakeholders, all the stakeholders from different levels on board, the researchers, the universities, the small SMEs, the industrial players, the research providers, all these actors. We need them and bring them together. And this is the benefit of the technology platform and of the public-private partnership and of the research program from the European Commission, to bring all these actors together. And it's absolutely clear that the challenges are so huge that we can only achieve it by a system approach. The vehicle, together with the infrastructure, together with the energy system. And here we must bring the actors together. And for sure, research has also to give an advice for future regulation. Regulation is also needed in addition to technical innovation. And when we think about the upcoming regulation for alternative fuels or infrastructure, when we think about the regulation for connected and automated driving, then it's clear that also from research community, we need to provide an input to have the best regulation in the world for the uptake of innovation in the market. I think with the Horizon Europe program, the European Union is quite well prepared with the setup of the technology platform, AirChark, as the umbrella, and then with specific partnerships, the 2.0 partnership, towards zero emission in road transport, and with the new partnership for CCAM, the Cooperative Connected Automated Mobility, for automated and connected driving. And therefore, we are very happy to welcome the CCAM partnership here in the organization team for this conference. And it is my specific pleasure to welcome the chairman of the CCAM partnership here on the stage, Armin Greta. Armin, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for this kind introduction. And it's really an honor for me, and I'm very happy that I can speak now here before this big group of people, researchers and colleagues and friends, and who all I know from many years of working together during the last years. I'm very happy to be here, and very happy to first time present here some basic, let's say, topics around the CCAM partnership, which is established last year and has already done a hell of work, I can say, on the work programs for the coming years. So this was really a cold start, and now we are really running hot already. But I think we have managed quite nicely, and also with a very good and professional cooperation with the CCAM, with the services from the Commission, who really gave us a lot of framework around it and helped. And also in Horizon Europe, everything was new again, and so it was not easy, but it was a very good thing. And we now have work programs out there for 21 and 22, and the others to follow. But I'd like to make here some more comments on what has happened with the foundation of the partnership. Why did we do this new partnership? Because we had Horizon 2020 calls on connected and automated driving, and they were very successful, and they are really very good and basic for the further work in this area. What we have seen is that there are still many issues to be solved and to overcome for the implementation of CCAM. Some of them to mention. Potential benefits of CCAM-enabled mobility are insufficiently demanded by society yet. So we need to explain the added value here, really. This is not only a matter of public sector or private sector. This needs to be understood commonly. Then also the market take-up of these new solutions needs to be optimized, and also the current investment levels in this area to make it, as we mentioned it, competitive against or in comparison to other areas of the world. this is really a huge task which lies still in front of us. Also, a longer-term vision and strategy for systemic solutions is not yet there, and we are building it up just now. And the whole program of the CINEA partnership is built in a way that we start now with enabling technologies. We will, in the second phase of the program, try to bring more maturity into the technological solutions. And in the final step, with the large-scale demonstrations, it's really about explaining to Europe and the world how the best solutions will look like, not only from a technological point of view, but also when it comes to business models for players, to the roles of different sectors in this playing field, and also about, let's say, the scalability of solutions. So, making CINEA solutions ready for deployment requires that research and innovation standards and regulation are really need to be advanced in a synchronized way. We are seeing many very good activities in member states as well as on the Commission services level with the Motor Vehicle Working Group, and also in the standardization bodies of the ISO organizations and many others. Many approaches are being set and going on, but having research projects which are commonly understood and supported by Commission services as well as private partners gives much more strength into standardization and regulation approaches, so that at last we will not lose time and have gaps in this framework of CINEA. Before I stop here, I'd really like to mention the very important Horizon 2020 projects which we will hear of today and tomorrow. And I think this is really a very, very good foundation for the work of the CINEA partnership. And we will have a lot of news and let's say, new insights into the problems and the issues which need to be solved in the future from the results of these projects. So I'm very happy that we will hear a lot about these projects. My personal focus is just the last session, which I'd like to mention here, on the results of the concrete CAD projects like L3 pilot and the followers and many others to come. I have seen Aria here in the room who will present about that. So I'm very happy to see further results in this field. So thank you very much again. Want to say I'm very honored and I feel happy and wish all the speakers and participants a successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Armin, for this very nice introduction. And now it's my pleasure and honor to invite to the podium Mrs. Rosalinde van der Vlies from the European Commission. I'm very happy to, first of all, meet face to face with Rosalinde, because until now you were just a picture on the screen. And Rosalinde is director at DGRTD in the directorate with a very impressive name, Clean Planet. So Rosalinde, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for the very kind introduction. And indeed, what a pleasure it is to see a room full of real people. It's really, really amazing. So it's for me a real honor to be here and meet with all of you. And I think for all of us, this is really a great opportunity to reconnect, see some old friends, make new friends, and also see new ways of working together and cooperation. I also would like to congratulate the conference organizers for organizing this conference, and with the main purpose of really sharing the research results. Because I think at this moment in time, it is extremely important that we build upon the results that we collectively have achieved in order to really accelerate the shift towards zero emission mobility. And you're all very familiar that the European Union, and Stefan already mentioned it, we have really this shared vision and this shared ambition. And within the European Union, we want to become the first climate neutral continent in the world. And of course, the transport sector will play a very, very important role in this shift towards climate neutrality. And I'm sure you're all very familiar with our European Green Deal strategy, our smart sustainable mobility strategy. But why is this important? It is the same like for the strategic research and innovation agendas that you have all together developed. I think it's extremely important that we do have this shared vision, this shared direction of travel. And of course, we need to make sure, if we want to achieve what we've all set ourselves to achieve, that we need to make sure that, first of all, we have the correct regulatory framework. So the rules need to be fit for purpose. And the Commission is trying to make sure that this is happening for the European rules. So we have launched what we call in the Brussels bubble our Fit for 55 packages to really make sure that all the rules that we have in the European Union are supporting our common goal and our common vision. But next to the rules, of course, we need massive investments in the right solutions. And here I'm very happy to say, and you all know it, Horizon Europe, it is the biggest European program for research and innovation ever. And the fact that we have secured a lot of money, 95.5 billion euros for the next 7 years to invest at European level in solutions for research and innovation really shows the crucial role that research and innovation has to support this transition. But of course, I don't need to convince this room of the importance of research and innovation. But what is important is that we together talk about the concrete results and the concrete solutions that we have been achieving together with our investments in research and innovation. Because that is important. Because we need to make sure that not only through our research and innovation activities we develop solutions, we also need to make sure that these solutions will be taken up in the market. And for this, we need also support from other funding programs. And we have plenty of other programs at European level that will help us in this transition. For example, the Innovation Fund or the Connecting Europe facilities. And we need to make sure that we will be better connecting the dots between the results that we are achieving through our research and innovation programs and then also the further investments that are needed in order to bring the results to the market, scale up the results, build the right infrastructure, etc. And I can say that in this moment in time, we are really at a moment where we are receiving messages again in the new geopolitical situation that we need to accelerate. We need to accelerate our activities. And in the beginning of March, on International Women's Day, the European Commission published a new communication, Repower EU, that is basically responding through the current situation and wants to make Europe energy independent from Russia. And this communication reaffirms again that we have taken the right path with the European Green Deal. The European Green Deal is not only about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, it is also about strengthening the competitiveness of the European Union, and it also has a very strong social dimension to make sure we leave no one behind. So the Repower EU communication reconfirms the European Green Deal objectives and also passes very clear messages. We need to massively invest in energy efficiency, in renewable energies. We need to really build our energy infrastructures inside the European Union. And I think we can only achieve this if we really work very closely together. And I'm very, very proud of the partnerships that we have with the industry in the context of the Horizon Europe program, because the partnerships are really a unique tool to work together, the public and the private sector, and to have also the common investments and the common direction of travel. What I think is extremely important is that we connect the dots not only within the partnerships, but also between the different partnerships. And I think that in particular the partnerships that we have under Horizon Europe in the mobility sector are really showing and leading the way of how cooperation between different partnerships should work. And I really would like to congratulate the partnerships for having this really strong cooperation already established. I also think it's very important that we look for other cooperations beyond partnerships. And here I would like to mention the cities mission. The missions are a new instrument also under the Horizon Europe program, where we are really trying to address a specific societal challenge. We have 5 of them, but I will only talk about the cities mission because I also happen to be the deputy manager of this mission. So the cities mission, about all the 5 missions, the main objective is to have at least 100 climate-neutral cities in the European Union by 2030, and these cities should really serve as a source of inspiration to make sure that all the other cities in the European Union will also follow on this path to climate neutrality at the latest by 2050. And I think that the cities mission offers also a very important test bed to test also innovative solutions that have been achieved on the transport sector. So let me also then finally pass to you some final conclusions. As I already mentioned, the first conclusion is that we need to really valorize and maximize our results. We also need to talk more about our results, and I'm very happy that our moderator also encouraged all of us to use the social media to really make sure that we spread the results also across our own community. Secondly, more than ever, we need to connect and cooperate. And here I really think that with the partnerships and the cooperation between the partnerships and the future opportunities also to work, for example, with the cities mission are really a showcase on how this cooperation across the value chain, across different sectors should work. Thirdly, we need, and Stefan underlined it very clearly, technological solutions. But next to the technological solutions, I think it's also very important that we do not forget the societal dimension. We need to offer affordable solutions for our citizens. We need to make sure that our citizens have confidence and faith in the new solutions that we will be bringing to the market. And this is also why, through the next work program for Horizon Europe in Cluster 5, we will also be looking into this societal dimension of the solutions. And finally, I would like to really urge you to help us to shape the next work program under Cluster 5 of Horizon Europe in order to make sure that we invest in the right and most impactful solutions. And I already am very grateful for all the support and advice that you have been providing the Commission services, but I would really encourage you to continue doing this because your advice is extremely valuable to us. We are here investing the taxpayers' money of the European citizens, and together we should make sure that we get the best value for the money that we are investing in our future solutions. So I would like to wish you a very, very successful day. I also hope that you will have an opportunity to really connect face to people and that you will also find also future opportunities for cooperation and networking. And lastly, let me make a bit of publicity for a already next conference that will be coming up in Lisbon in November. To be concrete, it will be taking place from the 14th to the 17th of November. It's the Transport Research Arena Conference, the TRA Conference 2022 in Lisbon in November. And if possible, I would be very pleased to see many of you there as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosalinde, for these very inspiring words. Right now, it is equally an honor and a pleasure to introduce and to ask to the podium Mr. Harald Reuters from the second very important service of the European Commission that is supporting our activities. Mr. Reuters is Director in the Directorate Investment, Innovative and Sustainable Transport in DG Mobility and Transport. Harald, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to see you here all physically in this room, and I join, of course, Stefan and Rosalinde in rejoicing that we are together here this morning and discussing these important topics. But please let me first of all share a few personal thoughts with you. Right now, at this moment, these hours, these days and weeks or months perhaps, at our eastern border, there are brave citizens and fellow colleagues fighting for their and our freedom, for human values. And it's a bit surrealistic to stand here and to speak these words. It feels like a reality that is very close and at the same time very far away. And what I draw from this, ladies and gentlemen, is also stressed, I think, by Rosalinde. We really need to stick together and to accelerate what we're doing. What I've seen happening over the past years is that crisis by crisis, it is more and more difficult to take well-justified policy decisions. If you look at Brexit, then COVID, and now the Ukraine crisis. And time seems to be reduced for our political leaders to do that. I think that the way that this is embedded into the research program and what you're discussing here today, and the way we are crafting together, is in fact a very good reply to that, and it is what we need. And Rosalinde, I'm very happy that there is more than 95 million available for doing this, because through the research that you are doing, you are providing replies that are really important, as also Rosalinde said, for our energy independence, for our independence as a European continent, but in good, of course, also cooperation with those who are outside of the European continent, because we have a global task, which is the Green Deal. And the Green Deal, as it was incepted in December 2019, and then translated into a climate law on the 29th of June 2021, and then, of course, translated into the Fit for 55 and the winter packages, comes, of course, also very much through your work. Through your work, we are able to make proposals like the AFIR, the TEN-T, the ITS, as we have done so on the 14th of July and the 14th of December. On the 14th of July, I was in one of these rare occasions where there was covered a little bit less, and standing on the Vielstahlbrücke for opening a link between Stuttgart and Ulm on the TEN-T, and a lot of research on road, measuring and weighing bridges and all these kind of things are finding its expression there. And on my way back, I couldn't go further than Aachen because there were the terrible floodings. Can you imagine that 43 billion will be spent just on the results of those floodings, on the disaster that was there? Like half of the money of the research program and almost twice the CEF money. I mean, there is no way of escaping, and there is also no escape because we have a climate law. And your work directly fits into that. And so the proposals that came just on the same 14th of July as the day of the floodings are crucially important, because we need to roll out alternative fuels, energy, hydrogen, also other alternative fuels that we're working on, in order to be able to have that energy independence and to have, of course, the future solutions for the climate change that is happening around us. And immediately after, of course, the proposal that came in December are linked to it. Let me please tell you very briefly where we are. Already on AFIR, the Alternative Fuel Infrastructure Regulation, the French presidency looks for having a general approach on the 2nd of June. And the rapporteur Ertug in the European Parliament is discussing now with his shadow rapporteurs, and we think that there will be also a vote in the Parliament still before the summer break. There's a lot of discussion whether there will be a need for rolling out, and to what extent and where exactly, the recharging infrastructure, the hydrogen infrastructure, the onshore power supply, the solutions for ships and also for maritime, for aviation, that we are still researching in quite a few of the joint undertakings. I don't want to sum them up. You have done so brilliantly, Rosalinde. And then, of course, from that side, it will translate into the TEN-T. Where exactly? In which ports, in which airports, on what roads, where will this infrastructure be available and how will it function? And of course, now the crisis has learned us also to go into energy efficiency, because in the end, the amount of alternative fuels will be finite, and we have to work on energy efficiency as well. So the CCAM and all the work in 2.0 and the work that we are doing in the cities mission and the work that is done in the other partnerships, the waterborne partnership, the clean aviation, all of them will be necessary to translate that also into further, let's say, steps that we are taking. We're taking it on in the ITS legislation that we have proposed in December. We're taking it on also in the TEN-T proposal. We are going to take it on in the MDMS proposal, the multimodal digital mobility services that will come in the coming year, end of the year or beginning of next. We're taking it on also into legislation on rail and on maritime that is still underway. So, ladies and gentlemen, your work, I think, really can be seen within the large context of what is happening directly within the current times. And we need really to strongly engage in that. And I hope that we will do that also through this conference here, through the conference that Rosalind was mentioning, the TRA, also through the Connecting Europe Days that will take place from the 28th to the 30th of June in Lyon, where we will gather the whole transport community and where we hope to see you as well, because we will gather there also ministers and the rapporteurs from the Parliament, as it will be a crucial timing for policy delivery. And we have only 5 breakout sessions, and one of the breakout sessions, Rosalinda, will be on innovation. And we'll have, of course, also you participating in there, because we want to convince the rapporteurs and the presidencies, now the French and then the Czech and then the Swedes, that this is the right way to go. I hope to see you there. I hope you will have a terrific conference here. It's great to see you, and I wish you all very good luck and conference here. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. I think in 5 minutes you gave a very good overview of all the Commission's initiatives and activities in this very challenging, very important area that we are dealing with also in this conference. Thanks a lot. Last in the row, but not least, is Dirk Bekkers, Director from the European Climate, Environment and Infrastructure Executive Agency, the well-known to all of us, CINEA. Regrettably, Dirk was unavailable to join us today in person because of conflicting agenda items, but we have a pre-recorded speech that we would like to share with you, and I hope that my colleagues at the back will take care of this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dirk Bekkers and I'm the Director of the European Climate, Infrastructure and Environmental Executive Agency, CINEA. Unfortunately, I was not able to be present in person today with you. I will give you via this video message a short introduction to our agency, the programs that we are managing, and in particular to the Horizon 2020 Transport portfolio. Let me start by saying a few words about our agency, CINEA. CINEA was established in April 2021, building from the programs managed in former INEA and some programs and portfolios from former IASME. This new delegation brought more programs to the agency and a significant growth in terms of budget and in staff, with a progressive increase during 21 to 27. As you can see from this slide, CINEA is responsible for implementing 7 different programs. In particular, the Horizon Europe Cluster 5, Climate, Energy and Mobility that you all are aware of and familiar with, plus the portfolios of what we now call the Legacy Horizon 2020 program for Societal Challenges 3, Energy, and parts of Societal Challenges 4, Transport, and 6, Climate. Then we have the Innovation Fund program, which is one of the world's largest funding programs for the demonstration of innovative low-carbon technologies. Then we have the Connecting Europe Facility, CEF2 program, for transport and energy, which is the big EU infrastructure program. Then we have the LIFE program, which is the EU's funding instrument for the environment and climate action. Then we have the European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund, which supports the European fisheries sector towards more sustainable fishing practices and blue economy. Then we have the Renewable Energy Financing Mechanism, which intends to enable EU countries to work more closely together to achieve their individual and collective renewable energy targets. And then finally, we have the Public Sector Loan Facility pillar of the Just Transition Mechanism, which will be key to ensure that the transition towards a climate-neutral economy works for everyone. Now, all these programs will raise the total budget managed by CINEA up to more than 58 billion euros for this MFF, out of which 9 billion euros are assigned to the management of Horizon Europe Cluster 5. Now, the main purpose of CINEA is to be the focal implementing body that will support the European Commission in reaching its ambitious targets, climate targets for the years ahead as part of the EU Green Deal. A strong commitment from all is necessary to make it a success so that we can, all together, accelerate innovations and technologies, support their absorption by the market and societies, and prepare our network infrastructures for wide upscaling and cross-border operability. It is CINEA's role to support beneficiaries and the Commission in maximizing and targeting the EU funding for successful implementation of projects and policies towards climate neutrality by continuing to promote funding, by directly engaging with beneficiaries and stakeholders through the whole project lifecycle, by raising the visibility of program results, by providing feedback to our parent DGs on project and program implementation results for subsequent exercises, and by exploring areas for harmonization and synergies. Now, I really want to stress the importance of synergies with other programs so that you can maximize the EU funding and, most importantly, ensure the deployment and exploitation of your results for a greater impact. We see potential links between the RNI to be developed in Horizon Europe and the market deployment policy support activities. The Innovation Fund or the CEF programs have the potential to be a follow-up deployment instrument for your results, so it is important that you as applicants and potential beneficiaries are well aware of these and other funding instruments. Now let's have a look at the evolution of the Horizon 2020 transport portfolio, including all transport modes between 2014 and 2021 in terms of cumulative number of signed projects and cumulative EU funding. The last Horizon 2020 transport call, part of the Green Deal, was successfully completed in 2021. For Horizon 2020, there are no more open calls and no grants under preparation. The total CINEA Horizon 2020 transport budget is worth 2.68 billion euros. Now, so far, 206 projects have already been successfully completed, and CINEA is managing at the moment the remaining legacy of 238 ongoing transport projects. We estimate that the last one should be finished in the year 2026. Now, this slide presents topics related to Horizon 2020 transport research. The majority of transport calls was included in the Smart, Green and Integrated Transport Work Programme. Two important calls, batteries from the year 2019 and the Green Deal call in the year 2020, were included in the cross-cutting activities work programme. The biggest call was for the green vehicles, with 78 projects and 573 million euros of funding, aiming to support a massive increase of electrified vehicles and to maintain a leading world position in supplying automotive products. Then the automated road transport call represents 18 signed projects and 210 million euros of funding that focus on the promotion and market introduction of highly automated driving systems. The battery call then focused on short-term research for advanced lithium-ion electrochemistry and production processes, short to medium-term research for solid-state electrochemistry, next generation of battery packs and battery management systems, networking of pilot lines in order to improve the performance of the battery and battery cells. 17 projects were funded here with a total grant of 147 million euros. And then last but not least, we have the Mobility for Growth call, which includes road transport topics such as urban mobility, logistics, road safety, ITS and air quality. In total, this area was covered by 110 projects with 597 million euros of funding. Now let's have a look at what the future will bring. In Horizon Europe, CINEA will manage approximately 3.9 billion euros dedicated to transport. In 2021, the first three calls were open, and as an outcome, CINEA is engaged in grant agreement preparation for several proposals. 22 grants are being prepared for battery-related research topics. 37 grants will cover areas of zero-emission road transport, aviation, waterborne transport and impact of transport on environment and human health. And then 26 grants will cover areas of connected, cooperative and automated mobility, multimodal transport system and safety. Now all of these projects will be signed in the course of the year 2022. The first of them will start in the month of May. And then finally in the year 2022, several Horizon Europe funding opportunities are open in the domain of transport. CINEA is responsible for the evaluation of the following calls. First, a number of them have a deadline on the 26th of April 2022, and these concern the one call on clean and competitive solutions for all transport modes, main focus on waterborne transport, zero-emission road transport and aviation. And then a second call concerns the implementation of the climate neutral and smart cities mission. Then we have a second deadline on the 6th of September 2022, and there we have one call on safe, resilient transport and smart mobility service for passengers and goods. The second call, competitive and sustainable European battery value chain. And then the last call concerns the implementation of the climate neutral and smart cities mission. Now all of the information related to these calls is available on our CINEA website. Now in conclusion, I would like to say that CINEA is supporting the implementation of road transport research in Horizon 2020 since the year 2014, and we will continue to provide the same level of service also in Horizon Europe. You can meet today our project officers in the conference, whether they're moderating sessions at the EU stand or as participants. Of course, you can also learn more about CINEA's activities in our dedicated social media channels and website. With this, I would like to thank you a lot for your attention, and I wish you a very fruitful conference. Thank you.
I would like to thank also Dirk for his virtual participation. I'm sure that in the next version of the conference, he will definitely be with us. So I'm also almost happy to say that we are only 3 minutes late from what we had prescribed in the beginning. So I would like to immediately kindly invite you to split and to join the different sessions. Let me only tell you that in this room, the ICT infrastructure for road transport session will take place in this Einstein -1 room, while there are 2 parallel sessions upstairs in the ground floor, one in the room Archimede for solid-state batteries for mobility, and a third one in the room Newton on boosting electric mobility in cities. You have selected already some of those sessions, so you can find them in principle in your badge that will indicate which session and where. So let me please once more thank you for your participation in this opening session, and let's see each other very soon in the other rooms. Thank you.